Alright, 31 Days of Horror continues with day 10 and Children of the Corn 2. Oops, 3. Urban Harvest. Urban Harvest. Like my little cityscape here. Get it? Okay. Hey everyone, it is Shannon, and I'm continuing my series special for the 31 Days of Horror 2015 with Children of the Corn 3, Urban Harvest. This was definitely a first-time watch for me. I may have seen the first one. I must have seen the first one. I don't quite remember the second one, but I didn't remember anything about this one at all. It was also from like 90 something. It's gotta be the 90s. I think we're in the 90s now. Wrong one. Wrong one. I don't know where it is. Okay, some year. It's gotta be 97. Anyway, so definitely hadn't seen this one, and now we are following Eli as opposed to Isaac or Micah, and Joshua as opposed to Malachi or I'm like Malachi or Mordecai. Okay, so those are the two. This time Eli is a young kid, Joshua is an older kid. They're brothers, and they get taken away from the cornfield. They leave the cornfield, because of abusive parentage, and now they're set through a social worker. They're placed in the city. Now it's kind of funny because there's some things that are very sort of like supposed to be city, like urban like, but it's really suburban. Like it's not really a city. Like it depends on, it's not rural, but it's, suburban. I would say not urban. So they end up going to suburban or urban high school, bigger high school, more people, and they're like the farm kids, right? So that's, and then crazy stuff starts to happen because it's Children of the Corn, and it involves corn because it's Children of the Corn. So it's like kind of funny because you get the sort of fish out of water thing with farm kids in the city. So some of that's, I don't actually want to say that's funny, actually. I think that's an interesting dramatic thing. But they do play some of it for jokes. Not really, actually. Some of it for tension, which works. But there is a sort of, I don't know, this one's a bit weird. It's a bit different, which I actually really appreciated, to be honest, because the first two were rather similar. So my first question about this is, was it horror? And I would say yes. There is a lot of gore in this movie, and there's a lot of pop scares too, which I'm not a huge fan of, but there's lots of blood, gore, violence, insanity, just crazy, crazy stuff. They push the bar pretty far in this one. Was it scary? I don't know. Some things were pretty scary. There's a couple of like sort of like visually scary stuff, and more than conceptually, but most of the stuff is pretty like over the top and crazy and made me laugh. I laughed a lot during this one, like a lot. A lot. um but a lot of the scares were pop scares, but then like, it did sort of come to this big crazy thing that if I was a kid, I'd find it scary. Probably I didn't find it scary watching. I found it enjoyable and funny and horror and in that realm of things. And did I enjoy it? Yeah, a lot. I was very happy because the second one really, really didn't work for me, and so I didn't think it would be able to come back with the next movie feeling like. But what I enjoyed about it was that mostly was that it was funny. I don't think it's intentionally funny, but I still found it funny. Some of the things were so crazy though. They were so over the top, and like it had some issues, but I think it was a better story than the last one, and it didn't take itself too seriously, but it also had a strong enough story that it held it together. So overall, I thought it was really funny. The urban thing was a little weird. It was just kind of like I appreciated a different setting, that's for sure. But I don't know. It's also because because it was like 95, because this was sort of, it had to be pre-Buffy because Nicholas Brendan was in it and Charlize Theron is in it. Very small extra, I didn't even notice them, but it came up on the trivia and IMDb sort of thing. So it had to be pre-Buffy, so that's 97. So maybe 95. Because so I think that's sort of around where it was, and it feels it. Like for me, this is getting a time where I remember what I was doing at that time and what people wore and stuff like that. Some of the urban clothing was kind of funny. But that's not to say that it wasn't realistic or anything, like, anyway. I don't know. but it was a lot of fun. And the acting wasn't too bad. Like, the guy who played Joshua was pretty good. He was pretty familiar. I think he's been on a lot of TV since then. And so he was good. There's also, what's her name? Nancy Lee Graham, I think, the woman who plays the mother. She played Julia on Santa Barbara. And I don't actually remember her. Like, I can't think of who that was, but I know I watched Santa Barbara at the time that she was on. It's a soap opera. And so I know her from that. So, and then the kid who plays Eli, I don't know him from anything. I think one of the challenges with these movies is that you usually have a really important role, with a really young actor. And the first one, the guy who played Isaac was great, and the guy who played Mika, he was okay, but he was older, and they go back to a younger character with Eli, and I think he's okay, but I didn't always, I bought the conviction of his character, but one of the things I didn't buy was that people would follow him, and so that for me was one of the challenges of the story overall, but it didn't really matter too much because I was just sort of enjoying it to enjoy it. So yay, Children of the Corn 3 definitely was a lot better than expected. I still have several more to go. I know there's 4, 5, 6, and then like another one. It's not 7, but it's had some other title. So that's a lot more to go. The next one will be the halfway point. So those are the things that I really enjoyed it. I would recommend watching it for sure. You don't really need to see the other Children of the Corn movies, but I would definitely recommend watching the first one because it is really good. But this one, it's pretty self-explanatory. Evil corn, evil kids. I don't know. I don't think you need context. Anyway, now I'm going to go into the spoiler zone before I get there inadvertently, so if you haven't seen it and don't want to know more about it, we'll see you in the next video. I was going to say the next movie, but otherwise I'm going into spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Okay, a couple of things. One, it was a great, huge surprise turn of events. I didn't realize, like, when they revealed that Joshua and Eli are actually adopted brothers, so now we have tension between them, as opposed to just it's us, them, the rural kids versus the urban kids. That really, really worked for me. I didn't anticipate it at all. I thought it was really great to have them act differently and want to interact with the new setting differently. But then I did find it, as I mentioned sort of accidentally before, I did find it weird that the high school kids would follow Eli. I didn't buy that. Like, it was a religious school, which you can't tell until this kind of stuff happens. I guess the principal being a religious leader was kind of like, but like the parents don't seem religious, so why would they send their adoptive kids to this religious school? Anyway, so I'm not gonna split hairs on that stuff because it's not really what the movie's about, but I did find it hard to believe that the high school kids would want to be all religious like and follow Eli. That didn't make sense to me, especially because he was younger. He was powerful and he did sort of show his power, but like then you'd be getting followers through fear, and that they felt like true followers, and then that didn't quite work for me, but it didn't really matter because some of the other stuff was like so awesome. I couldn't believe like the entire sort of end of the movie is this like a huge crazy battle. It's like 10 or 15 minutes long or something. That's what it felt like. It felt like it went on forever. Like, not, there's two fronts, like the battle on the cornfield with Joshua and his new friend, who has like the best death scene I've seen in like the entire 31 Days of Horror so far. Like, it's just like crazy. It's so crazy. They really push more on this one. But then, like, the huge battle scene and people falling in these weird vats of blood and just, like, corn and things attacking and this big monster. Where did the monster come from? Like, I kind of appreciate that they didn't do the same thing as the other movies, but it was just like, where did this, like, creature come from? Like, and it was awesome stop motion animation, but I'm like, from, and there was so much blood and guts and gore at the end. It was unbelievable. It was really unbelievable. I was like, I had a lot of fun watching it. It was so good. So anyway, I really enjoyed this one. I'm really more enthusiastic about the series now with the 4 more to go. I hope they continue to be as fun as this one, but we'll have to see. Anyway, that's Children of the Corn 3 Urban Harvest. Let me know your thoughts on it. Thanks. Bye.